Yeah, guys. So if you've got any kind of wins or anything that you're proud of this week, or anyone that's influenced you and helped you with your business or your personal life, feel free to kind of jump out now. And hi, Josh, giving us a wave. Either kind of jump out and let us know now, or pop them in the chat and we'll go through them as and when. Completely up to you guys. Depends if you want to come out and talk.
This is my win.
Oh my god, I saw them. They're so cool.
Yeah, it's sick, to be fair. It's got like this little filter thing inside. You can't see it, but it's
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you order them?
Nasty went to Dusseldorf for can't remember where he went, but he just went to the Enagic office there and picked them up for us. So
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Adam managed to grab me one from Singapore, but I haven't seen Adam since.
Yeah, so that's on Saturday. I've got.
Mate, don't forget them. I'll literally like drive up to Sheffield to get them. Well, Tom will. I don't drive, but
I've got 2 each. Are they one for each of you or 2 for you?
no, one for each of us. I'll share. I'm nice, Adam.
No, she's not.
Oh, still got a few people jumping on. My win for this kind of week was restarting kind of the 30-day program. So we've got through a whole month now with everyone, and we're back up and running again now with all the newbies. So if anybody has recently joined the community and you want a kind of helping hand and some tips to help push your business further, feel free to jump into the 30-day group, and we have our calls on a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. So yeah, it'd be great to see a few more faces there as well. If you need any more information, just contact your coaches and we'll get you added in, etc. Joshua?
I have something this week.
Oh, go for it.
So I've been doing a lot of like freelance artist liaison stuff at these festivals, and there's another one coming up next weekend in Sheffield, and they've asked if I want to do like a trial for a sales position, and if I enjoy it, they want me to move over to Ibiza with them.
That's pretty cool. Wow. You're frozen, but congratulations, Dace. No, she definitely froze. Oh, she's back. Congratulations, Hun. That sounds really exciting.
Thank you. Okay. Won't be like instant because I've got a few other festivals in May, but
yeah,
hopefully by June I'll be in the sun.
Oh, that's really cool. Any more for any more? Don't be scared. Jump out. No.
Facebook have brought out like 2 new features additional to the split test thing. So me and Mike are just working through them this last 10 days or so. And yeah, they're pretty sick, to be fair. So
it's pretty cool. Good. Look forward to kind of you two delivering that and letting everyone know.
That video they put with that one he did yesterday or the day before with the post IDs you can add, which I didn't even know you could do that. I thought it was quite impressive.
Yeah, it's good. It's just annoying how when you do that, you can't change anything about the ad.
Yeah. So that's what I figured, but at least you've got the engagement, I guess. But yeah, if you've not had it, you edited it and you've got a winner as such, then yeah, I know what you mean. But at least it's there. It's a good feature.
You can split test the audience from it though, which is good, which you couldn't do before. Well, you could, but it was a faff. So. It's decent.
Right then, ladies and gents, I think for now I'll hand over to Adam. He's got a presentation to go through with you all about ads and kind of different styles of ads that you can use to help kind of develop your business and your advertising, really. Right, mate, take it away. It's all yours.
Okay, cheers. Yeah, so I've just put something together. It's after reading the Copy Writers Handbook, really, and it goes through a lot of things in it, but mainly I wanted to go through the different, like Lily said, the different types of ads, the different themes of ads that you can put together. So I'll jump into a screen share. Right, so I've got together 17 different ad ideas, headlines, and themes. And Josh, Rich, Lily, or whoever, just put in if you've got anything to add to these. So yeah, to give you inspiration to write ads. So I'll go through them. So the first one is a question ad. So this asks a question in the headline and answers the question in the copy. So for example, I threw loads of examples in here. So these could be headlines, and then you could sort of bounce your ideas off them. And they're just I got the actual types of ads from the book, the Copy Writers Handbook, and then I threw my ideas together with the headlines that I would put. Some people might change these headlines. It's just to give you an idea. And what I did was I looked at all the actual different types of ads and the themes that it was giving me in the book, and I wrote down on paper what I would use for my headline. People might choose a different headline, and it's just to give you an idea. So the first one, a question ad, asks the question in the headline, answers it in the copy. So for example, your headline could be, how can you live the lifestyle you want and earn a living? ? Then you could spin off of that and go through, what we do with setting up an online business. How can how we can live the lifestyle that we want and earn a living whilst doing it. So that's the first one. The second one is a quiz ad. So present the reader with a series of questions to see if they qualify for what we're offering. And this could be something like a headline. So take this quiz to find out if an online business is for you. And then in the copy, you could go into something like this, like maybe something out of 10, how much do you like your job? And then I just threw another one in. How determined are you to change your current circumstances? And there's just a few examples. You could go on and on with that. And then you could, after you've sort of asked the questions, you could sort of then spin off to what we do and go to a call to action. Like, for example, if you answered 7 or 8 out of 10 out of all these questions, an online business could be for you. Here's what you need to do. You need to watch the masterclass or webinar, etc. So that's the second one, a quiz ad. The third one is a news ad. So it announces a new product to people in like a news style way. And I did this with an ad that I split tested today. But an example of a headline in this one, or the first couple of lines, could be along the lines of breaking news, earning whilst doing the things you love is now possible. And with the one that I put out today, I put something like breaking news in capitals, and I put along the same lines basically. Earning a living online is possible was my headline for that one that I did today. But that comes across in like a news style way, as in like breaking news, and then you've got something to tell the audience. As I say, I'm just sort of blasting through these. Lily or Josh or Rich, if you've got anything to add, just sort of jump in.
Yeah, I've got something to add with that news one. I actually stopped. I won't jump into a screen share because it will drop yours, but I can put it in the group after. It's from Adrian Wesley's Power On movement. And someone put a picture in there. It's like, I've just got it up now. It's like this guy with his hands in the air like this, and then laid over is like the Sky News layout with like breaking news. Power On movement is taking over the world. Already 2,000 members. And I stopped because it drew my attention on the news feed. So people always want to know something that's new. It's like I don't know, like a psychological thing they want to be in the know. So yeah, I like the news one.
Yeah, and it's like anything, isn't it? If me personally, if I saw breaking news across something on Facebook, the chance that I probably would stop and read that headline at least. So yeah, that's the third one, a news ad. Then the fourth one is a direct ad. So it gives a straightforward presentation of the facts. So this could be, I've just sort of given this as a headline example. Fact: as you read this, people are earning a living online. You could go into numbers on this one as well. I know that me and Tom have had a similar ad or headline running at the minute saying something along the lines of how many people are actually online. Like I've got one out, it says 3.3 billion people are online at the moment, and then we go into, why not run a business online, something like that. There's probably a lot of other numbers and facts that you can give to this one. This is more for people, if you're targeting people maybe that are more into the numbers, because as we all know, sort of people do look for logic as well to make sure something is actually real, and numbers do back that up. So that's number 4. The 5th one is an indirect ad. So it's got an obscure headline to create curiosity and lure the reader to reading the full ad copy, basically. So for this headline, I wrote down this one. Is it fair that people can make a living from their smartphone whilst others have to go to work? Now that would be quite long for a headline, but it could be an opening sentence or something like that. Or maybe that full sentence could be split into 2 or something like that. But the aim of this ad and this ad copy would be, as it says, you create a bit of curiosity in your headline or in your first couple of lines of the ad. And that curiosity, hopefully the theory is that people should then want to read your ad more because they're thinking, all right, it sounds okay, but I'm not 100% sure what's going off. I'm going to read the ad more. I'm going to read the rest of the copy for it to make sense and to see if it's for me. I don't know if anyone else like Josh, Lily or Rich can think of any curiosity headlines or have put any of them out recently.
Yeah, just anything with like secret in it. So like, especially if you're targeting certain audiences. So if you were targeting other network marketers, just a headline that's pretty good is like a little known success secret about network marketing. And then people read it because firstly, some people want to actually know what the secret is. And then a lot of people also want to prove that you're wrong. And then by doing so, they'll still read the whole article and they can get persuaded that way. So it's like a 2-pronged attack using the curiosity.
Yeah. I suppose secret is a good word for creating curiosity, isn't it? Because it's like you're going to actually, by them reading the ad, the sort of reward for them reading the ad and spending their time reading it is you're going to give them a secret to something relating to what we're offering.
I was just going to say, Adam, a great kind of example of curiosity ads are any kind of weight loss or fitness ads, because they're always like, oh my God, have you seen these results? Or can you believe that they've done this in this amount of time? And you're always like, what have they done? How do they do that? So yeah, if you're looking to kind of create curiosity ads,
All right. Holy Moses.
The chair just broke.
So
Goodness me.
even down here for a minute.
Cut the recording.
Good job. It's a good job we're recording that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be clipping that up for something, I think.
Mastermind highlight reel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go along with our one from the other week when we had the webinar and then no one was talking for about 20 seconds.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to finish off that sentence or?
Yeah. So if you want to kind of look into curiosity,
Can't hear you.
it'd be great to just look at those.
I'll just move on swiftly. Yeah, so that is an indirect ad that has a strange headline to create curiosity. Then we've got number 6 is a reward ad, which is probably similar to a secret ad. So obviously it promises a reward for reading the ad until the end, really. This could be something along the lines of, this post could get you out of your job, the job that you hate, in 6 months. So then people are thinking, okay, what's, I'm going to have to read this post till the end to find out what, how I'm going to get out of my job, what's going to happen. We've got Lily Beth back. So there's probably reward ads are quite good at, in my opinion. There's probably quite like a bunch of reward ads that you could, of headlines you could put out for a reward ad. But this was just like the first one that I could think of. I don't know if you guys can think of any more. Then we got number 7, which is a command ad. Now, command ads obviously do what they say on the tin. They command the reader to take action. They're quite direct, and it's basically sort of, well, this is the headline that I thought for a command ad. So stop working and start living, ask me how. So there's 3 things there that you're commanding the reader to do: to stop working and start living. And they're thinking, well, how can I do that? The third part is ask me how. So that might do on maybe a post engagement or something like that, when people are asking, well, ask me how in the comments or something like that. You could have a bunch of comments underneath that ad of people basically asking you how they can do this.
Adding that with the commands and the call to actions, don't be afraid to be really direct, because like the research shows that the more call to actions you put in and the more you tell people what to do, they actually respond better to it, even though you'd think it'd be the opposite way around. It's because people are reading through and they can get lost in an article. So if you're telling them like, in the next step you'll do this, then click here, they will go through the article more fluidly in a way, rather than just getting lost in a block of text or lost in a headline. So call to actions and commands are good. Yeah.
You probably say that they're kind of short and sweet ads as well, Josh. Like you say, they're quite direct. It's you're telling the reader exactly what they need to do to sort of, in this case, we'd be telling them exactly what they need to do to watch a masterclass to, or message us directly and see how they can get involved with us. So yeah, they're probably your shorter ads, as Josh says. Some people, it depends on your audience, but some people are not too bothered about reading through your full block of text. They just want facts. They just want to watch something or speak to you directly. So that's a command ad. Then we've got this one, reasons why ad. So present reasons why you should join / buy a product. In our case, it's generally the end result maybe would be to buy a product, but in our case, we want the end result to be, from our point of view initially, to watch the masterclass. So this one could be, this opportunity can give you all the freedom that you want. And that's just one of the reasons. You could then sort of go on and carry on of, with any other reasons that you think that the reader should sort of join us as Project Q1 or should watch the masterclass, etc. So that's a reason why ad. Then we've got a before and after ad. So this shows improvements gained by using the product. So in our case, or in my case when I was thinking this up, improvements made by setting up an online business and a successful business. So I just put this out. So from being stuck in a 9-to-5 to traveling the world, and then how ? This is obviously in my case, but people who are maybe not got to the stage where they've quit the job yet or anything, you could just put working from anywhere I like or something like that. So it goes from, it shows exactly what it says on the tin, shows improvements gained by using the product. There's probably quite a few other headlines if I really thought about this one. I don't know if any of you guys could think of any.
I was just thinking.
Yeah, this is just like testimonials. Just be careful, because Facebook don't allow you to say like directly before and after, and you can't do comparison pictures side by side because it isolates a certain group of people. So when you do this style, like before and after is very good, but just focus on the after and then mention briefly like they used to be this, now they are this, rather than before, sad, happy, now. Just Facebook just doesn't like that. So
yeah, I picked that up before, Josh. We've got a friend who's actually like a personal trainer, and he was always asking me like why Facebook won't allow before and after pics when people have lost weight. I didn't know the answer, but obviously the answer is that Facebook just doesn't like it, and that's that, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's like saying that the before people in the before bracket, you're like isolating them and making them as in like a negative light. So everybody that's still there is seen negatively by the rest of Facebook, so they just don't like it. But you can do testimonials, which is essentially the same thing. It's just in a format, really.
Yeah, with that weight loss thing, it's, I know you're getting away from the ad a little bit, but the weight loss part, when Nikki first did Forever Living, she was doing all that. And the before and after have to cover, for example, if you beforehand, you have to show a picture of the scales with you on it, with your weight on, and the after, you have to show a picture of you with the scales, with the weight on after. It's got to be proven. It's a difference.
Yeah. So then number 10 is a free information ad. So the ad focuses on getting the reader to register for a free offer. We've got, can everyone just mute if that's okay? So yeah, number 10 is a free information ad. So the ad focuses on getting the reader to register for a free offer rather than buying into anything immediately. So it's a bit less sort of pushy on any type of sale. An example for this one that I thought of was just to focus on watching the free masterclass, which we generally do anyway. So watch our free masterclass and learn about what an online business can offer you. Then we've got reader identification. So the headline is used to a selected audience, which would be a good one for us. So there's a lot of different ones you can use for this one as well. This is one that I just plucked out. So sort of calling out people in professions. So mechanics fancy swapping the coal garage for an online business on the beach or something along those lines. It could be like, you could target maybe chefs or something like that, saying chefs fancy getting out of the kitchen and trading it for an online business or something along them lines. It could be quite useful for any type of audience that we target, really. Then we've got an information ad, gives useful info on how the product is used rather than pushing the product and sale of it directly. So in this one, the one that I thought of was, so how does an online business work? And then completely listing off all the different features and benefits of having an online business like we've got. And then just maybe a small call to action at the end. So that's what I picked up on that one. So it's giving a lot of information rather than sort of fully pushing the product directly. And these are a couple of things that I sort of added as well. So we can sort of focus on that it's 90% automated, that you only actually need a laptop and Wi-Fi. There's an online community, so you're not alone in the online business, and you're also coached and mentored as well. Location ads. So features the product used in an unusual location to highlight its versatility and usefulness. So an example of an ad that a headline that I thought for this one would be this: run your own online business from the comfort of your own back garden. And I actually used that advert last year for quite a long time. Actually, it brought me quite a number of leads in. And I just put a picture of my laptop in the garden with a couple of drinks, not alcoholic drinks, because Facebook doesn't like pictures of alcoholic drinks. But yeah, I think people can get the gist of that one. There's plenty of ways of using this one as well for plenty of different places that you can run your business from, a coffee shop, etc., etc. Josh, I don't know if you've got any other ideas on that one.
I think just put in locations that are and then that you can still do it from there, like sort of patterned. So everybody's seen it like on a beach, but I think yours works well, Adam, is it was just like pretty reasonable that you're just doing it from your garden. Whereas if it's like working my business in Hawaii on this beach, everyone's like, it's probably like too hard to achieve. Whereas if it's work from your conservatory in the summer with your dog there, and it's like real, and people can be like, oh, that seems like somewhat reasonable. I think it resonates with a much bigger audience, especially like in the UK where everyone's like a little bit more skeptical than most other countries.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, obviously the beach is the obvious one. So the obvious one people might not click on, as they might think that that dream is too far away at the minute. But like your back garden, or, you know, like you say, in just from your settee, really, anything that shows the online business is flexible for you. Then we've got fictional characters. So these are generally like humor ads with a bit of wit in them. So obviously be careful, because, you know, humor, some people can take it the wrong way, but this is a headline example that I thought up. Don't be Mr. Grumpy, quit your 9 to 5 and be Mr. Happy. And then sort of go on from there and get into your copy from there. But as I say, you've got to be careful. If anyone was sort of on the mastermind last week with Lily and posting on social media, etc., just be careful with what audience you target, I guess. The next one is advertiser in ad. So the advertiser happens in the ad to speak about his or her own product. So this is a good example for us as well. So for people, for example, that are affiliated, and well, people will be affiliated if they're running ads. So we have the actual product, we have the online business, and we're promoting it and marketing it on Facebook. So run a successful online business. I do it, it actually works, was the headline that I thought up for this one. So we're already doing the business, we're already using the actual product that we're marketing, and we want to show people that it does actually work, and that they can do it as well. So yeah, that's the headline I thought up of on this one, and then you can go more into why it's actually working. A bit similar to the previous ads, where why it's working, because it's 90% automated, and you can do it from anywhere, etc., etc.
Yeah, I think a good one, if you've obviously tell your story in like a short version as a video, so you record it live and then maybe clip the best parts together. And it's better that way if it's filmed like not professionally. So it's filmed just off your phone. So then people that see it in the newsfeed, for one, they'll stop. And then two, they'll think, well, if this is happening and these are just regular people, which we are, and they're making it work for them, why can't it be me? Whereas if it's like a professional stuff with like outrageous graphics and all of that stuff that's unbelievably good, that will work, but I think it just sends off a slightly different message to what we're actually trying to achieve. But
yeah, I mean, I guess the message for the UK side anyway, because quite a lot of skeptical people, is to just keep it sort of real. And yeah, completely agree, Josh. So yeah, that's the advertiser in ad. 16, challenge ad, which is, I think it's one of the best for me anyway. So challenge ad challenges the reader to find a better product than yours. So can you find a better way to get out of your job than this? You could probably tweak that a bit and play around with that one. I'm trying to think of a couple of others off the top of my head. Something like find a better way to freedom than this opportunity. Something like that. So yeah, this is where you really sort of put some oomph into getting your message across of why our product and system is the best out there. So yeah, can anyone else, any of you guys think of any other ones like that?
Yeah, you could talk about where you struggled in the past. I don't know if anybody's tried to work online before, but I definitely have. So you could say like 3 challenges I overcame in this venture that I hadn't been able to do before. Obviously not that wordy, but if you can compare it and make it real, but obviously never actually badmouth another opportunity, because that's like the worst way to market anything. But if you say like, I struggled with this for, I don't know, 5 opportunities later, I finally found something that works. Can you find something better? And then it puts the onus on the reader to either read your post and then agree or disagree, or just move past and then not know. So again, it's like curiosity rolled into one, which is super important.
Yep. And the next final one is a demonstration ad, so shows how the product works. So an example of this one, I mean, it's similar to the others, but here's me working on my business. We'll not go with on the beach with what we said before, but in the garden, and then how about it? So you're not sort of bragging, but you're showing what's possible, but you're posing a bit of a question to the person or reader at the end. I mean, this was one of the ones that I couldn't put too many headlines together. I'd have to sort of have a bigger think about it, to be honest. But I don't know if you guys have got any other ideas of how it's quite similar to the other one, advertiser in ad.
Yeah, you could use like, here's me sat on the sofa, for example, same kind of thing at home on a Wednesday, when my business works for me, for example. Something like that.
Yeah, or like right, in front of somewhere in your house, and then just have your headline of the morning commute was a nightmare. And then just be in your pajamas with a cup of tea, and everyone's like, what the hell? So sort of like the same thing, because then they start to ask questions. Like, it's also, some people might find that like a little bit annoying, and then they'll read just out of frustration. Like, that definitely happens. I've run adverts like that in the past that do well. So I think, Harriet, what you did with your picture the other day of you in your, where you made like a little office in your bedroom when your house was really busy, like, I thought that picture and that storyline can definitely be used if you just tweak the headline to match exactly what we're saying here. So like, how did I make this my office, or how did I generate money from this space, or something like that. I think people will stop and read that story.
That's so funny, because I actually thought that it looked like I was living in a hole. So if you think it's okay, I'll put it into an ad.
Yeah, no, but people can relate to that in some way. Like, not everyone's the like cleanest person. Like, not everyone sort of lives the sort of dream life completely. And do you know what I mean? In the UK, people can relate to that. You know, an office is just whatever you make it, and yeah, quite a lot of people could relate to that, I think.
Okay, I'll give it a go. Thanks, guys.
So that is the last one, actually. Just a last slide is just a few general tips really on that I picked up on. So just keep every headline and sentence as simple as possible. So it sounds sort of daft, but just have a read through the ad that you put together, whether it's on paper or whether it's on your phone or your computer, and think sort of would sort of the person that's had no previous experience even in anything like this before, would they be able to understand what I'm saying? Have I put this in the simplest word, the simplest wording as I can? This is like 2 examples of headlines that I actually, or sentences that I actually writ out yesterday when I was sort of thinking about this. So this is like, for example, this could be a headline or sentence. Read this post until the end if you want to know how to set up a successful online business. It does make sense, but it is quite a long sentence and it can be condensed. And this is what I got it down to in the end after like scribbling things out for like 5, 6, 7 times. I got it to read this post if you want to get out of your job in 12 months. And maybe even that could be condensed, but obviously we've taken at least a line out of that top sentence there. So that's what I would do. How I've started rewriting my ads is actually writing them down on paper, writing down sentences, moving them about in order, scribbling things out and thinking, how can I make this sentence or this complete ad, how can I condense it to as little as possible, but still get my message across quite powerfully? So yeah, that's what I did with that. Read the ad out loud and see if it makes sense, or read it to a friend, a partner, if they're into what you're doing, and just say, well, yeah, does this make sense to you? Or if you haven't got no one besides you, just read it out loud to yourself and see if that makes sense. The book that I'm reading, the Copy Writers Handbook, says sort of, if you read it out loud and always go for an ad and sentences in an ad where you would actually read this out loud to someone and maybe have a conversation with them. Imagine you're doing that with your ad. So keep it quite informal but direct, and as I say, the actual sentences should maybe be one or two lines at the max, and then space, and then one or two lines, so it flows a lot better, and people can read that a lot better as well. Yeah, and again, so see where you can cut words out to make things simple. So I've done it myself, like before, just write out a long ad, and I've got my message across, and I thought it was a good ad, but looking back, I think the more simple and direct you are with the sentences, the better it is for the reader. And that is everything, really. I don't know if anyone else has got anything to add to any of that there.
Yeah, I think a good way to keep it short is if you use the benefit and pain like formula. So you have like the first part will be the benefit, and then the second part is the pain. So for example, like how to work online without a new idea. So people see the benefit, and then they see that they can get there without having this, or without like how to start working online without, and then insert pain with no time, or how to work online with only 8 hours a week. And the people see both parts, and then they're interested. And that keeps your headline so short. It's like literally 7 words, opposed to, so that second post you've got there could be like, read this and leave your job, and read this and say bye to your job in 12 months, or say bye to your job in 12 months. You may not need that read this post, but again, a lot of this headline stuff and the little nitty gritty bits will just be split testing. So fine story. And when you said, Adam, write them all down on paper.
Yeah.
Write a few that you think will work, or the ones you like the best, and then just split test those, find the win.
Yeah. I mean, what I'll do, I've wrote myself, there's 17 different types of ads here with 17 different headlines. If it's quite time consuming, but I'd recommend everyone to maybe write down a selection of these 17 different ideas, and then at the end of it, you might have 10, 20, 30 different headlines or themes for ads that you can go to. And you might try 5 and they might not work, but you might try the next 5 and they might be killer headlines and ideas for ads. So these are like the 17 that I've gone through here. They're like the 17 different types. Once you've got headlines for them, you can then you'll then once you've got the headline written down, for me, I could then work off that headline and write my copy out, and it just seems to flow a bit better. So there's obviously a lot of different ideas, hopefully, for everyone to get the teeth into when they come down to sit down and write an ad.
I always start, whenever I come to write an ad, I always start with headline first. Even if I find an idea that I think I'm going to write an ad about, if you can write it headline down as a reader, it always flows way better. And if you write, say, like 4 paragraphs of copy and then come back to the headline, it's really difficult to match 7 words to 4 paragraphs, but it's easy to match 4 paragraphs to 7 words.
Yeah, I agree, Josh. I mean, everyone's different and might do it different ways, but that works for me as well. I always get the headline first and then spin off that to bring the second line in, which people will see, and the third line, which people will see. And then after, I think maybe the 3rd line or 4th line, then it will go to continue reading, and then that's when you've got to keep people's attention.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I'd add into adverts that's doing really well for me is, we spoke about it a little bit before, but just put in any emotion into the headline, and it's unbelievable how much more, like, my click-through rate is increased by like 2.5% in the last week or last 2 weeks, just by putting stuff like, instead of "this opportunity is amazing," just put "this opportunity will make you smile," or "this online opportunity will give you goosebumps." It sounds like really cheesy, but humans are like hardwired to look for other people's emotions and look for things that make them feel good, and things that might not make them feel good to stay away from it. So if you can get that good feeling in, or that unusual post, I find myself stopping all the time. So maybe like go through and see other successful ads, and a lot of them have "this outrageous method made these people happy," and it's so simple, but it works. So I definitely split test that.
Yeah, the emotion thing I'd agree with as well, to be fair, Josh. I've been using the word tired, or tired of the 9 to 5 kind of, or tired of the hours. And that seems to be getting quite a good, as you say, click through.
People just like resonate with it, they see it, and if they feel that emotion at that exact same time, they'll be like way more likely to stop and read, because they're in that zone, in that mindset. And then because, for example, if you put "this will make you smile," so someone reading it is happy or isn't happy, when they read through a succinct ad of like a really feel good testimonial, they're much more likely to click through the link and be like in the mindset of putting in their name and email and then coming through as a lead. So it's really, really valuable to do it that way.
Yeah, because just on that as well, like I put in an ad. I started an online business that can give me time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, blah blah blah, and then sort of changed it up and thought, I just thought, well, are those people really interested in me? No, they're interested in them and what the online business can do for them. So I then changed that up to something like, how would you feel if you could start an online business that can give you X, Y, and Z? So then you're sort of putting it on them. How will it make them feel? Because at the end of the day, I guess they're not really interested in what you can do. The person writing the ad can do. They're interested in what you can do for them, or what they can actually get out of this. So yeah, that's really the end of the presentation. So I hope that like Lily will put this mastermind in the file section if anyone needs to revert back to it, and I can put the slideshow as well in the file section as well if anyone needs to. If anyone over the next couple of days is going to be writing ads, whether you've been in a while or whether you're new to Project Q1 and you're writing your first ad up, so I'll put the slides in the file section as well, so people can look back at it and hopefully get some ideas for ads knocked out.
Yeah, I'd say as well is this is again just trial and test what you think, because you might say like see some of these ads and you might think some of them are like a little cheesy or they're like not going to work, but the market never lies, so you have to test these, and it might come to a point where you like have, because right now like when I write adverts they're all of a very similar style, so I'm sort of stuck in the routine of writing those adverts. So what I'll do tonight is go back through this presentation and choose 1 or 2 styles, because there was some in there that I've never seen before, and I'll go back and be like, right, I'll do this advert and just run it and see how it goes. So there is no like set formula. It's just a case of trial and error, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously I've got that from the Copy Writers Handbook, which is everyone seems to be reading it, but I would recommend it. And there's a lot more things than that in it. That was just literally 1 page out of it. And when I first looked at that, there's so many different types of ads you can put out. Obviously, I didn't realize myself that there would be that many different styles and types of ads. So when you think about it, there's quite a lot of ways that we can get them styles into our ads and what we're marketing online.
Yeah, and I think one we didn't really miss, you could add it to all of them, but something that really works is if you can like add value to the reader, as in within an advert. So 5 tips for working online this year. When people see that, they have no obligation with you. So say, like you say, 5 ways to work online, people might think that online work doesn't work. Whereas if it's just all value, they can't have obligations because it's free. And then in turn, it might like, they'll stop and read, taking all of the value from you. And then like right at the end of your ad, you can say something along the lines of like, if you want to see how I make this work for me, follow this link. And it's like pretty reasonable. It's like laid back. There's very few obligations for them not doing it. So then they just click through, and it's like, whereas if they've got their barriers straight up because you're promising something that's just like outlandish, it's much harder to turn them. So any value you can give anywhere with lives or in adverts is always good.
Yeah, because if you did that in an advert, I think, Josh, like people would think, read it more like maybe a magazine article, etc., and then think, and then get to the end of it, like you say, and think, well, this person does talk a lot of sense. I've learned a little bit from it, and might as well give it a go and register for the webinar, see what else they've got to say.
Yeah, and they might click through to your page as well and like see you and want to hear more from you because your voice matches what they're thinking. So it could be literally something as simple as 3 ways I changed for the better since working online.
Yeah.
And then people see that and they think like, oh, I want to be less stressed. I want to do this and I want that. So how, they don't know the how, they just know the why and they know the pain. So a good thing as well is like, I read somewhere once to sell painkillers, not vitamins. Because if you sell vitamins, you have to like overcome obligations. Whereas if you sell painkillers, people just want to get rid of the pain. They don't care of the method. They just want the why, and they trust you that way. So, and if you think about it, everyone always buys painkillers, and it's very hard to sell someone on a vitamin. So that's like a pretty useful tip, I'd say.
Definitely. So yeah, that's everything, I think. Guys, has anyone got any questions or want to add anything else to that or anything else?
Could I run something by you guys and see what you thought of it? It wasn't one of the 17. Whilst you were talking, one of them made me think, could it work if you did something like 5 reasons not to start an online business? So like with Josh's post where it says, I got hacked, and actually all the hacks were like really good things. You could say 5 reasons why not to start an online business. You're going to have far too much time on your hands. Your friends are going to be sick of seeing you, like things like that. Or do you think that could just turn people off going, well?
I think you come up with loads of ideas for that. Let's be fair, that's quite good.
Yeah? Okay.
I think you could, stuff like I'll be posting positive stuff all the time on Facebook, stuff like that, really. So, yeah, that's quite
You've got to think like the headline, the image, and the first 50 words. All they're designed to do is to make people read the rest. They have like, you can make it as outlandish as you want, and then turn it around in the rest of the copy because people will see something that they think is ridiculous, and they'll just want to read it to really find out what it's about, and again how they can prove themselves. So say like you see something you don't believe and you're like, that can't be true. They want to prove themselves right, that is a thing that they can prove wrong. So they see like, oh, this guy got, because when I put that post about how I got scammed, I had honestly like, my dad messaged me, I had like 13 friends message me, and my brother rang me, and like the ripple effect of that one line was like 250 times more powerful than anything I've posted before. And then they read, and I was like, did you read through it? And the ones that read through it was like, yeah, that was actually pretty decent. So it works to do it as a reverse that way.
Sorry to cut in, that definitely worked, Josh, because I read it and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? But then when I read it, I realised, yeah.
So just be careful. I wouldn't actually run that post as an advert, a paid advert, because just including the word scam in the title just is like a red flag. It just is very unnecessary. So when you do these posts, just be very careful with your wording, because Facebook has certain ones that will never go through a review, or if they do, long term, they're going to be like, it's just a little bit sketchy. Do you know what I mean? So
I was just going to kind of touch on
but you can do it like 5 5 ways or 5 reasons you can never work online successfully, or something like that, or you know.
Yeah, I'm going to play around with that tonight, see what I can find. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, one thing I'd say is when we do obviously in your smaller teams, this won't work in the ginormous chats, but when you're in your smaller teams, when we do ad reviews, as in, can you comment on this advert or can you give some love? That's good, and that's obviously going to work. But I think more people should like ask, do you think this ad, what do you think of this ad, like the story or the copy, or what minor adjustments could I make, rather than it just always being the likes and the comments. Because I'll happily like review ads or give my like 10 cents wherever it's asked for. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of other people will when they've got time, because if anything, it helps us to see what other ads are working, because I read some ads and I'm like, oh my God, that's like amazing. I've never even thought to write in that style. So I don't know, share ideas and stuff like that. It's all good to like mastermind and give value to each other.
Does anyone know what the headline characters are in terms of what you can use? How many characters you can use in the headline?
I don't know exactly, but it's a lot.
I think it's like 8.
It's a lot, is it?
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
Just wonder what it was. If you knew the exact count, obviously before it starts. What I mean is obviously on desktop and mobile is different, because it shows on, and no one's, in theory, would be going to a mobile anyway, and that obviously shortens it. So I wasn't sure what the mobile was compared to, well, desktop obviously be massive, but mobile would. I'll find out.
Yeah, I just write the majority of your ads based as if it's going to mobile, because practically no one is working. People on a desktop will typically already be working online. That's quite a sweeping statement, but I know Adam's statistics and mine and Mike's and a lot of other people back that most conversions are coming through mobile. So plan it for mobile, and then whatever it comes out like on desktop will probably be fine anyway.
I completely turned my ads off of desktop.
That's good. Yeah, it's fine. In this new thing me and Mike are making, there's a slight thing with like where you'll send ads to desktop, but that's another story. But yeah, mainly mobile. So
speaking of headlines, so we're obviously talking about the headline within the ad copy above your photo, but the headline that you've got by your call to action button, what sort of thing how should we be writing those? At the moment, I've just got like, do you want it enough to make it happen, or something along those lines. But should we be linking that into the title that's in our headline, or have it completely different?
To be fair, Facebook pretty much gives you 2 headlines. So you have the main one, which will be the one by your call to action, that's actually called headline in the advert. And then the first sentence of your copy is essentially another headline. So you can link them or you can have them unlinked, but just make sure that they both stand out. That's what I'd say.
So when we're talking headline in terms of all of these ones here, are we talking the headline by the call to action button?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking about the characters, because I wasn't sure how that works, obviously, on the... Exactly that. If anyone knew what exactly that was, I'm sure I could find it out, but I wasn't sure on mobile at least.
Yeah, I've never struggled. Like, I've never put a headline in and then it's come up like way too big, so it's big enough. Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem there. And if you do, you can obviously just slightly change the word in and make sure, obviously, the most important parts at the start, because it might cut a little bit off, but. And people have different phones, don't they? Some people have ginormous phones, so they'll see more.
Changes it, do you think?
Some people have it does, because they get more screen space, don't they? Even if you look on preview on feature phone, I don't know what a feature phone is classed as, but it's enormous. They see almost the whole first 100 words, so it's hard to say, but. So, any other questions or?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Actually, going back to Adam's reviewing.
You're very quiet, Tom.
Okay, bloody hell. Give me 1 second. I think I know what it's done. It's done the same as last time.
I don't know what he said.
Maybe Lilybeth pulled the cable out when she fell off her chair.
No. No.
As he
Get
does.
subtitles or something.
What about now?
Yeah, it's a bit better.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to what Adam said about reviewing your own copy, something that I've been thinking about from what I've been reading the last few days about reviewing your own copies and stuff is if you throw it into Google Translate or any other text-to-speech, then listen back to it. If Google sounds like an idiot, then you probably sound like an idiot.
It's not a bad idea, actually, Tom. Have you? Is that what you've done there? Have you done that on some recent ads?
I did it on the one I ran before this one, where it was all basically a bullet point, like Fiesta, like 3 sets of bullet points. And I did it after I turned it off. And when I listened back to it, I was like, you're too complex. People are just going to switch off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like if you listen back to it through Google and Google sounds like an absolute twat, then just switch.
Yeah, I like that. Keep it as simple as possible. That's essentially, until you start doing retargeting where you know people actually read what you put, you've got to just think that people see about a gajillion pictures and posts on Facebook a day and they don't want to, like, on their lunch break, read a novel about your online career. And that's what I used to do too much of.
Yeah.
Once you start doing it, it also means you can write adverts a little bit faster as well. So it's just good all around. But I like that Google thing. Another thing that's good is called Textio. I can put the link in, and essentially it analyzes your text and your patterns, and it gives out what it expects the audience to be receptive of it. So it will say, like, obviously what, depending on the words and the structure, it will suit like women aged 25 to 30, and it's like an artificial intelligence. It's really clever, actually. So sometimes you'll write an advert that's like for 14 to 19-year-old boys, but then you're sending it to the wrong audience, and it's lowered my lead cost. So it's definitely worth looking at.
I just wanted to go back to Harriet's idea about the 5 points that you've learned, or 5 things that you don't like about an online lifestyle.
5 reasons why not to.
Yeah, that was it. Basically, I'd done a post on the 18th of January on my fan page, and it said, okay, confession time, I do not have the perfect entrepreneurial lifestyle. And that got like 3 times as much engagement as any other post on my fan page does. And
It's
that
basically, people love seeing negativity.
It's because they're accustomed to it. Like the news, you rarely ever see positivity in the news. And if it is a positive event, then it's had the negative spin. Like going back to last week, we spoke about never speaking about Trump or Brexit. But that's because every time you see it in the news, even if they've done something really good, they'll spin it in a negative way. Like Trump bans guns in US, how every Democrat now hates him, or how every Republican now hates him. So it always gets that negative spin. So people's mindset is always, oh, there's got to be something wrong. There's got to be something wrong. So if you feed them that something's wrong, they don't need to find that affirmation for themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah, people just want to, like, prove that whatever you're doing is wrong as well. So people that aren't ready to go work online or whatever, and they see a post how you have failed, they're going to read it to back up their own self-doubt that they couldn't make it work, and it might turn some heads. So some of your interaction probably may not be prospects, or it may not be people actually interested, but that doesn't matter, because as the algorithms changed anyway, any post with more interaction and views will then disproportionately get favored and go higher and higher in the listing. So it's like any press is good press. Is that the saying? Or yeah, that one. So
any news is good news, something like that.
It's,
you know what I mean, that thing.
Yeah. Go on.
I think you're right, mate.
I wouldn't know you.
I think it was it.
Press is press, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I know what you mean though, but
Yeah, that.
in between us, we've like put it all together in one.
Here's a question: video ads or picture ads?
I personally
Video.
still haven't ran a video ad.
We've been filming some this week, and we have a lot more go. But all the statistics of video, so like is it view numbers, but and it's whatever your personal voice is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You might be really good at copyright, and you might be really good at video. You just have to test.
I think the best thing about the video is the data you'll get from it, the views and the stuff you can use for lookalikes. So I'd always look at that, James. I mean, I've not done it myself, but I know that lookalikes, and I think if you ask Harriet, she said lookalikes were quite a good thing in her business. Yeah. So you get that data straight away. So you've got the video out there. You can see, they have 20-second views. I think you get a percentage of views. I think I can't remember what it is, but however long people have watched your video for, and then you can use that data to get a lookalike audience, widen your audience, and then you've got kind of something to build with, really.
Yeah.
It's also like ungated content. So if you put a blog post or a written post, it's hard for people to share it because it's sort of like, it doesn't change their status. But say you put a video that's very shareable, that's ungated, you might have like 0.25% chance of going viral, or going viral to the extent of say like 25,000, 30,000 views, which for us would be absolutely massive. Whereas like a written post is harder to get that, especially a written advert post, but they both work. So you just find what works for you.
It's a volume thing as well. So you can get the views up really quickly. Obviously people are going to engage with your posts. So with a lookalike to leads thing, which you can do, it can take you a while to get, it might take you 6 months to get 1,000 leads, but to get 1,000 views over a certain kind of time frame, you could do that in a day, probably less.
Yeah.
And then you've got a kind of little audience to then build around, do a lookalike, even use the audience to be fair. But yeah, you can do a lookalike on that. That's kind of a good basis to get started, I think.
And it doesn't, again, like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be some like professionally edited, amazing video. It can be you doing a go live saying why you work online, and people, the only thing is you have to because almost it's like 38% of people watch on mute or something like that. So you have to get it like subtitled, but that's hard to do anymore. You can find software to do it for you.
Yeah, I think I showed you some. I don't know what that was called, Dan. I can't remember what that was called, but there was some software that did that.
Yeah, Rob put that thing in, didn't he? Into the
he did. Yeah. I've got that on my phone actually. I had the app. Yeah.
Does it itself now?
Pardon?
When Facebook will do it itself, when you're uploading a video, it will ask you whether you want to type over it with subtitles, because it will try and guess what you're saying to begin with. It gets some of the words wrong, and then you can put your own subtitles in for each.
Oh yeah, go back and edit it.
So it's going quite well. You know what video that actually really stood out to me recently? I don't know whether it was any of you guys, but it was definitely someone in Project Q1, where they had taken a video of themselves over perhaps half an hour or something and sped it up so it was maybe only 15 seconds long. And it was them working on their laptop whilst their dog just kept interrupting them and kept trying to like lick their face and stuff. And it was not a professional video at all. It was totally relaxed, but it completely encaptivated me. So I think the less professional, the more you're going to watch it, because you think it's just an everyday person rather than a business.
Yeah. Has anyone ever heard of Dollar Shave Club?
No. Oh,
it's
yes,
like,
I have, yeah.
Yeah, their first video, they shot that for $800. And it was like this guy in a warehouse just being absolutely outrageous with this razor and just doing loads of weird stuff. And they shot it in a day. And that video went on to make them something obscene, like 250 million. And they just sold the company for $1 billion. So, like, the story is more important than the edit. So, yeah, just shoot one and you don't know what's going to happen. I need to do that. I don't know why I'm saying it like you should do it. I should definitely do it as well. So.
Yeah, I definitely think it's more authentic when if it's just real, isn't it? So people, like you said earlier, Josh, people will relate to it, and especially in the UK, because you see like people, if it's all professional, whenever there's people just like, oh, what, just another one of these, really, isn't it? Yeah.
You remember that? you remember that girl that is I think she's an Analgic distributor, and she was talking about pyramid schemes, and it went viral and got 1.2 million views. I think she's in Gaz, and it was filmed on like a Nokia 3310. It was grainy, the voice was out of sync, but she was just going in on like how pyramid.
Is that the job offer one?
Pardon?
Is that the job offer one? Where she got to get a job offer for a normal job, but she talks about she works online.
Yeah, and then that's it. Yeah, and it like, and that was literally like her like zoomed in like this close on like a really old phone, and it was just did the job. So
I think I've got an old Nokia somewhere. Maybe I should dig it out and try it.
Yeah, grey it out as well.
Yeah.
Right then, what's the crack? Are we wrapping it up, Lilybeth, or has anybody got anything else to add?
Yeah, I'm happy to wrap up unless anyone's got anything to add or any questions or anything like that.
See you on Saturday, some of you.
Yes.
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday. Bye.
Cool. See you later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go, Bob. Peace.